So let's start with Tom Brady. It's his 45th birthday today. And this will be Tom's last year playing. It is more of an obligation to his family than his eroding skills, but happy 45th to Tom. What do you get a guy that has everything? There was a time 20 or 30 years ago when a lot of quarterbacks kind of looked like Brady. They were tall, white, athletic, kind of, sort of, not really. They were pocket passers. The sport's gotten much more diverse at that position. They're small, they're fast, they're quick. And yet through all of that, on any given Sunday, Brady at 45 is still the very best. Mahomes, as great as he is, 0-2 in the playoffs against Tom, and Aaron Rodgers can't beat him regardless of the time of year. There are certain people in sports where it just doesn't make any sense. Wayne Gretzky's the greatest hockey player ever. How do I know that? Because if you took out all the goals that Wayne Gretzky has ever scored, 894, and that's the most ever. If you eliminated all of his goals ever, he still has more points than anybody else in hockey history. Where to start with Brady? Here's a couple. In his 40s alone, he has more passing yards than the great Roger Staubach had in his career. In his 40s alone, he has more touchdown passes than the great Troy Aikman had ever. For our television audience, since turning 40, I'll put his stats on TV. Those, just in the last 5 years, would garner him Hall of Fame votes. His longevity, he is now older than 13 coaches in the league. And he's never had back-to-back years with over 40 touchdown passes. He may be as good as he's ever been. In fact, 2 of the head coaches were drafted to back him up. Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings and Cliff Kingsbury. Over 100 active players were born after he was drafted. It just makes no sense. Think about LeBron James, who is arguably not only the best basketball player ever, but genetically the best body ever. At 37, he's now struggling to stay healthy. At 45, in a sport where 300-pound men tackle you running full speed, Brady seemingly never really hurt. Legends often hold on a little too long, and it gets, semi-cringy. Not with Brady. Not with Brady. He's so confounding that even the league's smartest executives, and this is hard to wrap your brain around, when he was available 2-3 years ago on the market, he was available, he was leaving New England. Only 3 teams made a real run at him. The Chargers, the Bucs, and now we learn Miami. The league doesn't know what to make of Tom Brady. I think one of the things that really proved his greatness, and I said this once about Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods affected golfers when he wasn't even playing with them. He was in their head. Last year, I watched the NFC Championship between the Bucs and the Rams. The Rams were the better team. Second round of the playoffs, excuse me. And the Rams were the better team. They really should have won in a blowout. Jumped out to a big lead. Should have been bigger if not for a Cam Akers fumble before half. Completely dominated the game. We're absolutely the better team. And then weird stuff started happening to the cool, calm, collected Matt Stafford and Sean McVay. Weird stuff that can only be explained by Tom Brady watching the game. The Rams fell apart. Weird turnovers. Jalen Ramsey, the best corner in football, got burned like he'd never been burned before. They hiked the ball over Matt Stafford's head. I'd never seen that. The Rams fell apart. The best team in football with the best young coach fell apart for about 30 minutes. And that was Brady. Is that the team could feel it and could sense it, and they admitted it later. Eliminating Brady, it's happened so rarely, you could feel the pressure of it. The Rams were crumbling with the presence of Brady. Things that had not happened all year were in their head. They survived thanks to one great play by Stafford and Cooper Kupp. And Tom Brady's season ended, and this will be his last. But Tom Brady's career, from the very beginning, has made almost no sense. That even football people really can't explain it. Happy 45th. What do you get a guy that's got everything? August is my least favorite football month because the only news is always bad news. Somebody got hurt. It doesn't matter if you're a college football fan or a professional football fan. August is the worst. You sit around and you cross your fingers that you don't see breaking news, so-and-so got hurt. So yesterday, Tim Patrick, wide receiver for Denver, good receiver. He had like 50 catches, 700-some yards, 5 touchdowns. He's out for the season, ACL tear. It is definitely a loss. And when you consider Jerry Jeudy, their number one talent, he's hurt a lot. Tim Patrick's now out for the year. Cortland Sutton's excellent. He can't stay healthy. KJ Hamler, a little guy, he's hurt. Everybody's always hurt. But so the wide receiver room is injuries and optimism and hope, but so far, not so good. But this is why you bring Russell Wilson to a franchise. In Seattle, he took a shaky O-line, an injury-riddled running game, a receiver named Tyler Lockett, who was a third-round gadget guy and made him a star, took undrafted Doug Baldwin out of Stanford and made him a household name. 8 times in 10 years with a defensive coach and a revolving door of quarterbacks, he led Seattle to the playoffs. And the minute he leaves, they are now considered a 3-4 win team. Even with all the wide receiver injuries, you're fine. The Rams lost Robert Woods and got to a Super Bowl. DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Gallup were lost, and they're as good as Tim Patrick. The bottom line in this league, if you got the head coach that's right, and I think Nathaniel Hackett's a smart young coach, and the quarterback is right, and you got a sharp GM, you will survive. Denver, even in a tough division, has 2 elite corners, 2 really strong edge rushers, 2 sensational running backs, a star safety. They draft well. It's a better roster top to bottom than Seattle. This is why you pay Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or Matt Stafford. Their job is to carry a team through injuries and obstacles and elevate everybody around them. Doug Baldwin was undrafted out of Stanford and became a household name. TJ Lockett was a small third-round gadget guy. DK Metcalf dropped in the draft because he didn't run routes. They said he was just a body. Will Dissly was a blocking tight end at Washington in the Pac-12. He became productive. They will be just fine. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.